The most effective way to create real change in life is to think on paper. If you want to become a good investor, build a good business, grow as a person, or even lose weight, you have to write down your failures, lessons, and progress. Why? Because as humans, we tend to make the same mistakes over and over again if we don't write them down and revisit them. Today, I'll show you how to set up your health journal, which can become your best friend in achieving your health goals, whether that's losing weight, gaining more muscle, or improving your gut health. This journal setup I'm about to share doesn't have to be limited to health. You can use it for any important goal you desperately want to achieve for the rest of this year. I've been journaling for more than 20 years, but looking back, it wasn't as helpful in the beginning as it is now. At first, it was more like a diary, which is also a good practice. As some of you already know, I journal every day using what I call my 5-part journal. I've tried many journaling systems over the years, including bullet journaling at one point, and eventually came up with this system, which I designed for my own personal growth, which naturally led to another goal, building this YouTube channel and the small business I'm running now. Recently, I've been using it for my weight loss journey and overall health improvement. So if you want a faster and more intentional way to achieve your health goals, this system could help you make meaningful progress this year. So without further ado, let's get to it. Section 1. Setting your goals. The 5-part journal system is specifically designed to help you create real change and meaningful progress. In other words, think of it as your friendly goal-achieving helper. So on that note, the first section is where you write down your goals. You can write down 10 yearly goals, then choose your top 2 or 3 priorities. I usually do this at the beginning of each year, but honestly, any day can be your new beginning. This is how I set up my goals. Out of these 10 goals, I imagine myself achieving each particular goal. Then I ask myself, which 2 or 3 goals would make me feel the most accomplished? Which ones would help me live out the values I'm seeking? And are they measurable? For example, you could write, lose 5 kilograms, build more lean muscle, increase my iron levels. I highly suggest writing them down instead of just keeping your goals in your head. As you write them down, you can revisit this page every day and remind yourself where you're heading, with faith that you will get there. This is really important. So before I move on to the next section, let me briefly share one of the biggest reasons why many people fail to achieve goals like losing weight. When it comes to our goals, many of us want to get there quickly, whether that means losing weight, building a healthier body, or creating our dream job or business. And because of that, we often say, I don't have time to journal each day, especially with pen and paper in this age of typing. But what I've learned from the experts and also the hard way through my own journey is this. The fastest way to see real change and real results is actually to let go of the desire to go fast. Let me say that again. The fastest way to see real change and real results is actually to let go of the desire to go fast. And one of the most practical ways to live this out is journaling. When you let go of the urge to rush, you can actually sit down and journal. And even though writing in your journal each day may feel like it slows you down in the moment, it actually helps you move forward with clarity and certainty. When I look back, I always find myself confirming this truth. Moving with clarity and certainty is faster than moving with rushed uncertainty. And of course, if you prefer typing, it's still much better than not journaling at all. Section number 2, tracking habits. The second section is the habit tracker. Now that we have our health goals written down, the next question is, then what do we need to do to get there? These habits are like the vehicles we ride to reach our destination. For example, in 2025, one of my goals was to reach 10K on Instagram. I understand that it's a very simple goal that anyone could think of. But when I look back, yes, I'm grateful that I achieved that goal now, but I'm even more grateful for everything that happened in the middle. The work, the progress, and even the struggles I went through. So tracking your habit is the very thing that makes your goal shine. Under each goal, you write down the actions you need to do consistently, which we call habits because they are small actions you repeat every day. So if your goal is to lose 5 kilograms, your daily habits could be simple things like reducing snacks, especially added sugar, replacing a sweet dessert with a more nourishing snack like sunflower seeds, or doing at least 5 minutes of strength training. For these circles, each day when you open your journal, you can draw a full circle if you completed the habit, or a half a circle if you only partially did it. By the end of the week, you could see at a glance how you've been doing and use that as your own source of motivation, even if you skipped a day or two. You could also give yourself some kind of reward if you have full circles for the whole week. Section 3. Asking why. After you quickly check off your habit tracker, the next thing you do is write your daily journal. This is the part where you ask yourself reflective questions. Questions like, what did I do well today? What didn't I do well? Which habits felt hard to follow? What obstacles did I face? Why was it difficult? What can I do differently tomorrow? Asking and answering these questions helps you refine the daily habits you're using to achieve your goals. You may even need to pivot your strategies or tactics so they are better suited to you and lead to better results. I used to write this every night before going to bed, but now I've switched to writing it early in the morning. I find this time very therapeutic and productive. At first, you might find this introspection process a little boring, but once you get the hang of it, it actually becomes quite enjoyable. Not only because it helps you find better ways to reach your health goals, but also because it helps you get to know yourself better. So if I could give one golden tip, it would be this. Set up a specific time and place for your journaling, your peaceful, quiet time to getting to know yourself better. Section 4. Monthly Review. Life Balance Wheel. You can think of sections 1 to 3 as the essentials, but if you want to take an extra step, you can do section 4 and 5 as well. So the section 4 is the monthly review. In this big circle, there are 4 categories, and one of them is health. Here you can write your score as you review the past month. Under the health category, I wrote mind, body, rest, and fun as subcategories. But you can also write down the daily habits you followed for your goals. Then you score each subcategory based on how close you feel you are to your ideal, with 5 being the highest score. Once you've scored all the subcategories, connect the dots with lines like this. But if you want to make the most of this big circle, you can also score other areas of your life, such as relationships, wealth, and growth, and connect all the dots from those scores. Essentially, your goal is to make this circle as wide and well-balanced as possible each month, like a full, complete circle. As you can see, it's an interesting way to take a macro-level look at your life and intentionally work on the areas that may be lacking, so your life can become more balanced overall. Section 5. Future Log. The last section is called the Future Log. This part may seem similar to the habit tracker. But while the habit tracker and daily journal are for checking and reviewing the past, the future log is for planning ahead, specifically for the coming week. I made it sound fancy, but it's basically a to-do list for your coming week. If you're the type of person who doesn't prefer a strict schedule, you can simply focus on making sure you complete the habits that support your goals. But if you're the type of person who likes to plan things and stick to a schedule like me, then you can really take advantage of this section. For example, you can write down your strength training or running schedule, such as running every day and doing strength training on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You can also write down other to-dos besides the task related to your health goals. I love this weekly future log than daily to-do list because seeing what I need to do for the whole week, along with all my appointments, all at a glance helps me feel organized. I don't have to worry about forgetting anything, and that brings me so much peace. This time of year can feel hard because research on goal pursuit suggests that motivation can dip around the halfway point of a goal. Motivation can be higher in the beginning and near the end of a goal, but lower around the halfway point. Also, vacation season is coming, so it can make us wonder, what have I achieved before going on a vacation? And for those who plan to go to a beautiful beach, swimsuit season can bring a little extra pressure too. So especially now, I want to remind you to keep a long-term perspective. A new year will come and another year after that. So take one step back from the mindset of I'm too late and try to imagine yourself 3 years from now. When you feel like it's too late, that maybe actually be the best moment to start pursuing your goals again. I hope this journal setup guide helps you start writing in your daily journal and continue growing in your health, your business, and your personal life. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!